So this is a cold one with Corey and Carlisle. And if you don't know already, this is simply a free-form conversation recording session where Carlisle and I, we sit down, we have a six-pack of beer, and we talk about things that happened the previous week before. Now, these are more like audio podcasts, which means that they're longer than our video reviews, and they're also unedited. So if you're offended by the foul language, you might not want to listen. But if you aren't, then sit back, hang out with us, and we hope you enjoy. Thanks.
Yo, hello.
Hey, Kent.
How's it going, man?
What's going on?
I'm just chilling. Are we recording?
Caught you off guard, huh? Yeah, we're recording right now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
now, out there in Cyberland, you can hear the groans of thousands of disappointed spillers.
Oh, I know, man. I know. I'm going to explain that in a little while. Let me go ahead and do this right here, though. It's time again for a couple of cold ones with Corey and this week, Kent.
Man, I'm excited to be here.
Are you really excited to be here?
A palatial palace of just hot chicks and bad velvet paintings.
Oh, tell them, man. Let them know. We got all kind of women around the room just watching us do this right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's like what was a Bruce Lee movie? Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, it's
like that.
Instead of the Chamber of Death or whatever, it's like the Chamber of Love. Some of these women would choose death over doing me, but they're here now. And what y'all don't know is that Kent, the women are actually watching me do this because Kent is back at home in what, you live outside San Diego, San Francisco, something like that?
I live outside of San Francisco, about 45 minutes north.
Okay, so I had to call Kent and do this. So he graciously approved to do this. It was hard to get him to do it because when I called you up, Kent, you were like, I don't know, man. I'm busy. I got a life. I ain't got time to be fucking with you.
Yeah, man. It was I absolutely did not jump up off my seat and go, hell yes, I would love to. It was more like, let me think about it. The Olympics are ending tonight. I don't know if I can do this.
Tonight I needed somebody to sub for Carlisle. He couldn't be here, so and nobody else could. And I'm going to a show tonight, so I couldn't. I was going to pull out the co-host, but he's recharging right now. And by the time he's finished recharging, I'm gonna be at my show. So.
Oh, what are you going to go see?
I'm going to go see Nas. You remember Nas, the rapper Nas?
Yeah, man. I like him a lot. I like him.
Yeah, he had this beef with Jay-Z a while back and whatnot.
Jay-Z's one of my favorite rappers. Nas is one of my favorite rappers, but, it's kind of hard to pick which one you like better.
I know which one I like better. I know the one that can pay for the most shit, and that would be Jay-Z.
And, if you hang out with Jay-Z, you're hanging out with Beyonce, so...
Exactly.
That's
And Jay-Z don't want me hanging around Beyonce because he knows I can pull that.
Absolutely.
I got to look at it for what it is. Jay-Z's living in a mansion somewhere, making a lot of money. Nas is performing at the club down the street from me. So, but let me explain to everybody what's going on here. Now, I already talked about why Kent is here. Now, I know you're right, Kent. A lot of people are rolling their eyes right now and they're thinking, "Oh man, of course Kent is on there," because I'm getting a lot of emails from people. Kent, everybody's saying. Now, this will be a chance for me to clear up some rumors here, just for the record. All right. Kent and I
are not dating.
We're not having sex, okay?
No, absolutely not.
No, a lot of people think that you are giving me all kind of hand jobs and whatnot because
no, I'm not a bottom, I'm a top, and
yeah, it's reversed.
Cannot work together.
Yeah, I'm the one that's giving him the hand jobs. Actually, no, it's people. I don't want you thinking that Kent is a favorite or anything. Now, Kent came through for me when I needed something, and I had to call Kent. And so Kent and I, we just call each other every now and then. I might need some advice or something. But more importantly, Kent was one of the members who was actually pretty regular with everything he was doing. He came on, and we're talking about halfway when Spill is what it is now. Kent was,
I was the first member of 2008.
Were you the first member of 2008?
Very first member of 2008. My life was so bad that winter season that I was really sick and I was depressed and I was just like, I can't go out on New Year's. This is some bullshit. What am I going to do? And somehow I stumbled on Spill and my life was better.
Well, that's what we do, man. I'm thinking of starting a suicide hotline / movie site because just the sound of my voice keeps people from pulling the trigger. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know I was this close, and then it was like, hey,
I know,
I'm laughing now.
I know,
I'm laughing. I'm jolly. It was good.
Well, Kent came on and he was really, honestly, one of the first members to regularly submit stuff to us, and we just took that and he kind of set the precedent for people coming on and actually upping their game and putting on stuff regularly too. So if you want to know the reason why Kent is probably in close with Spill, that is why. I mean, he's one of the first. So, and now a lot of people are thinking that, seriously, I think I'm giving you all kind of carte blanche, do whatever you want to. They're thinking that I'm giving you all kind of freedom to go and create things on the site. That's not true now.
No, I get a good pimp slapping from Corey every now and then. People got to know I get regulated on.
I did send you an email one time. What'd I tell you? I said, whatever it is you're doing, stop and quit throwing my name around like you're crazy. And half the shit you talking about ain't true. Now, you know that's what I did to you. I'm glad you're telling people this, because people thinking like whatever Kent wants to do, Kent gets to do. No, I came in and told your ass to sit down and be quiet and stop.
Yeah, I was put in line. It was like I got my knuckles wrapped like it was Catholic school.
You were out of control, man. You and zero, for one thing. But no, but there's no love lost. It was just that happens to everybody now and then. It happens to me from my people, the people I work for. They come in and tell me, "Hey, Corey, man, what the hell you doing?"
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about that anymore.
Well, you don't know. I don't tell you those things. But so if you listen to the show now every week, you know that Carlisle and I, we sit down, and the format of the show is we talk about, first of all, the top 5. Then in the middle of the show, we talk about things that might have happened during the week, some news and events, and then we end the show by discussing some email. But we never get started without having a beer. That's why it's called the Cold Ones. Let me flip mine off. What are you sipping on, Kent?
I gotta give a shout out to my favorite brewery. It's the Russian River Brewery in beautiful Sonoma County. Mm-hmm. And I went and got a growler, which is a cool bottle they sell. I got it filled up with their best beer. It's known as Damnation.
Damn.
So I've put myself a whole glass of Damnation. It's a nice, stout, bitter beer.
Let me tell you something. I've had Damnation. I've drank Damnation. If you ain't in a field somewhere with your clothes off, falling asleep, you ain't in a pool of your own vomit. You ain't.
It has got a high alcohol content. I'm gonna be ripped.
Hey, kids, let me tell you something, because there are kids that listen to this, and yeah, we never meant for the site to be exclusively for children. I mean, we have a lot of people who are 13, 14-year-olds, and that's just the internet. People are going to do that. We're adults. We were doing our thing as adults, and a lot of kids just happen to come on. Kids, I want to tell you a quick story so that you know when you hear us drinking on here. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm legalized weed, do it. I'm gonna be the kind of guy to tell you don't have sex as a teenager, but here's a condom because I know I ain't gonna stop you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but I'm just telling you, a lot of stuff you do is bad, and you got to learn how to control it, and don't do it as a teenager, because even as a grown man, one night I was at a party, and
you recorded a Coco last week.
And I got so wasted at a party one night, and we were all swimming in the pool. My clothes were off, and for some reason, I said, I'm going to be sick. I got out the pool and picked up my clothes, and I was going to go to a quiet corner where nobody could see me because I wanted to be dignified, and I throw up in front of people. I woke up 30 minutes later in the middle of a dark field next to a pool of my own vomit with no clothes on. I'm like, what the hell is going on? and when I walked back to the party, because I was laying in the field, I walked back in, and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy, and I was like, what the hell? I jumped in the pool, and everybody jumped away. And little did I know, I walked in looking like Swamp Thing or something, because I was covered in grass because I was all wet and everything. So, kids, I'm telling you, and I'm not telling you this to be funny. Wait till you're more mature to handle these kind of things. I mean, if you're going to do what you're going to do, I'm not going to try. I'm going to tell you not to do it. But
I've been fortunate enough to have all my terrible drinking experiences happen very privately. I was on a cruise to Hawaii. You'd think that sounds like a really good time.
Yes.
But it might be the worst cruise line ever. And when you're on a cruise, you can't leave. You're stuck.
Oh, you can leave. You probably die. I mean, man, you can jump if you want.
So, it was basically jump into the propellers, drown myself in the children's pool, or get wasted. I chose option C.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A hangover in Hawaii might be the worst experience you can have.
Really? And I figured that'd be the best place. So you had a hangover in Hawaii. What happened, man? What'd you do? When
you're on a cruise liner, you don't have cash. Cash just doesn't exist. They just bill you for everything. Your room key is your money. It's the worst. So when you're at a bar and you don't have cash, it's real easy to pass your limit. So I'm doing Jaeger shots. I'm drinking vodka straight, which I never do. I just got insanely hammered. And I don't remember the night. All I remember is the smacking I got from my dad when we got back to the mainland and got our bill, and it was in a week's time I must have spent $2,500 on booze myself.
Now wait a minute. What, you were around 10 or 11 years old?
No. I was 22, but I mean, still, I just went way overboard.
Oh man, see,
it was terrible.
So what? That's not a bad story. The only thing that happened to you, I'm in a field in a pool of my own, vomit naked. All you doing is like, oh, my dad gave me yelling at. I had fun though.
I just pay it back though, man. You don't realize like mixed drinks on a cruise line are like 10 times more than they should be.
I went to. I haven't been on a cruise, but I've been around the world. I was in London trying to drink with some guys, one Australian and one British dude. And apparently, alcohol content is higher over there. And I went back to my hotel room and didn't know why I passed out on the floor. And they tell me later, like, yeah, we our content is higher than it is in America. And I was like, well, thanks for telling me after I get drunk. That's your motherfuckers, your British motherfuckers. But anyway, man. So enough about our bad drunken habits. Let's go ahead and get into the top 5 for this week.
Am I supposed to sing now?
You know what? Yes. I wasn't going to say anything, but you brought it up. You reminded me. So yeah. So
number 5.
And on second thought, don't sing. No, I'm kidding. Right. No, please. I like that. You can't sing any worse than Carlisle. I'll tell you that much. So number 5. Number 5 is Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Ah, man, I hate this movie so much.
You and everybody else. Apparently, except for me and Leon.
I was a defender of this movie, man. I was one of those people who was like, I can get past the art style and it's Star Wars. How could it be bad?
Well, it's done decent. Well, it hasn't done crazy business. I think it's kind of considered maybe a disappointment. It brought in $5,660,000 this week for a total of $24 million roughly, or $25 million roughly.
That's a huge success considering this was going to be on TV for free in 2 months.
Yeah, well, see, that's the only thing that pissed me off about this movie. Lucasfilm knows. Lucas knows that they got some strong fans. In fact, I remember the movie was coming out, and I didn't understand why everybody was so excited about it. You, for 2 weeks, was like, have you seen Clone Wars yet? I was like, no, goddammit, Ken, I have not seen Clone Wars yet. Get off my goddamn back. But even you were kind of disappointed about it. But I think
I was embarrassed to leave the theater. I have a Star Wars tattoo. I was covering it up. I had a Yoda t-shirt on. I flipped that shit inside out so no one saw it. I did not want to be known as the Star Wars guy at a Star Wars movie for the first time in my life. And you're talking to the guy who since 1997 when they re-released him, I've been at the front of the line every film.
See, man, that's the deal, man. I mean, George Lucas is pimping these people, man. These Star Wars fans, these hardcore Star Wars fans. It's gotten so bad now that something's going to be on TV for free, and he's thinking like, you know what, these fuckers out here, they're going to pay for it. Put it in the theaters.
That's just a jerk move. I mean, and I was telling people, hey, it's a TV show, and they're doing you a favor by putting it on the big screen for all you fans.
Doing a favor. Making people pay for something they can see for free. That's a hell of a favor. With friends like that, I don't need enemies.
I kept relating it to a few, it was 6-7 months ago. They released a few episodes of the original Star Trek series when they remastered them. And they put them up on the big screen in New York and L.A. And I went down to L.A. to see the Menagerie on 70 millimeter.
Okay.
And that was a cool experience for me because I'm also a bit of a Trekkie. So I'm thinking, hey, it's kind of like hey, fans, you can see something on the big screen because you're not ever going to be able to, again. So I kind of considered it like that. And then I saw it, and I was like, I wish I never saw this at all.
No,
this taking up a whole field of vision.
Well, this whole see it on the big screen thing can be a jip sometimes. It can be a rip. It can be a jack. So I even though I didn't hate the movie because, well, let's just face it, I gave up on Star Wars long ago.
Yeah.
I just said, I saw it as a movie for kids, a children's movie, not even part of the Star Wars universe. But they tried to crowbar it in there, and that's how they're going to get fans. Let me add, see, this whole thing where they said the Clone Wars. I mean, they even said it in a special. They were like, whenever fans heard those words, the Clone Wars, and that Obi-Wan Kenobi participated in it, they wanted to know that story. Do we want to know it this way, though?
No, see, here's the thing. I wrote a blog about this. 30 years ago, you bring that up and fans want to see it for 30 years. If you really look at the prequel films and how much of the Clone Wars you actually saw, you saw the very beginning for the last 20 minutes of Episode 2 and the very end of the fight in Episode 3. You barely saw these Clone Wars at all.
Yeah.
So why, he's I kind of was appreciative of thinking hey, now I get to see them. But at the same time, you took all the mystery out of it when you decided to place it in between two films.
Yeah, no, and do it this way. It's almost like you just. I mean, this is not Star Wars. This is not epic. This is a TV show, which would have been fun. And for those of you who think I hate Star Wars, because I had an email recently saying I really like you guys, but can you stop harping on Star Wars? I guess the answer is no. So, but no, not as long as you fucking fans keep going crazy over it. No, but I love the Clone Wars on TV. That's the best thing to come out of Star Wars since Star Wars, if you ask me. And I love and I can't wait for The Force Unleashed, that video game. Dying to play it.
The demo is out on the PlayStation Network and the Xbox 360, the Xbox Live Network. Download that demo, people. It is amazing. I've played the game now. That thing is Star Wars.
Can't wait. That should have been a movie. Well, the plot just from it, that should have been the movie. Dying to play that game. Can't wait for it.
It's awesome. It is awesome.
Fuck everything else. So let's go to number 4.
The Dark Knight.
No, you didn't sing.
Man, you told me not to.
I'm telling you to sing right now. Do it.
Number 4.
Damn. You made an opera out of that shit. So actually, and you're singing wrong. You said did you say number 5 or 4?
I said number 4.
Oh, it's just the way you pronounced it. Number 4. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. The number 4 is The Dark Knight. What can we say about it that hasn't been said already? $10 million this
Total
weekend.
Garbage. $10 million deserve a penny of it.
Way too much for that piece of filth. No, everybody loves The Dark Knight. Everybody's loved it so much that it's slipping now. I mean, but it's been out for 6 weeks. It's already made $489 million, 179,000.
Yep, and it's caused the DC universe, in Warner Brothers, to get their heads out of their collective asses finally. And this week they announced 4 more DC films in the next 4 years.
Really? What are those?
They've pretty much said Batman 3, whatever it's going to be called, is going to be out by 2011, guaranteed, whether Nolan is on board or not. Hopefully he'll be on board.
That scares me that they put it like that. We're going to get that shit out there no matter what.
Even talked to him. He's the guy who's like, I haven't talked about it to anyone or anything. And then they said they're going to remake Superman.
Yeah,
for sure.
That news is out there, the Superman reboot.
Yeah, which makes me say get rid of Bryan Singer. I love the guy, but I do not want to see Brandon Routh as Superman again. He's not Christopher Reeve, and that's all he was trying to do in that film, as far as I'm concerned.
And I'm going to address this Superman thing right here real quick. Damn, what's that static coming from? You hear that?
No, I don't hear it.
Okay, maybe it's just me. It sounds like something's crazy happening. Okay, anyway, what are the other 2 movies that they announced?
Wonder Woman.
Oh, that's right, they did.
Sure, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And the Green Lantern.
I did not know that. So Green Lantern. And hopefully
Hal
Jordan.
Hal Jordan might not be it. I personally would like to see Common playing the Green Lantern.
That was the rumor that he was going to be the Black Green Lantern for a while, but that was rumor. I don't know. That was rumor.
Still saying he actually wants to do it, and the fans want to see it. He looks like the guy.
Yeah, the John Stewart, the Black Green Lantern, yeah. But I think a lot of people would love to see Hal Jordan, the original.
I would like to see Hal Jordan, too.
Yeah, so, but let me address this Superman thing here real quick. Actually, you know what? Remind me to bring that up after we get through the top 5. Okay. I want to talk to because I had a conversation this week. Okay, sing it. Number 3.
Number 3.
That wasn't so bad. You
Changed up.
I know you did. Yeah.
Have
Sound like
fear in me.
sound like one of those old time singing, number 3. All the
Mammy?
time. Yeah, okay, I don't want to say that. Down on your knees in blackface. Number 3, mammy. But all right, so number 3 was Death Race, a movie that I actually thought was going to be number 1 this week.
I thought it would. I'm psyched. I still haven't seen it, which I'm disappointed about. I'm actually house sitting, so I couldn't get out to the theaters.
Okay,
It looks.
damn. What they do? Chain you to the house?
You know, my parents have the dumbest, worst pet ever. They have a Jack Russell Terrier, which I love.
I thought those were smart.
They are usually.
Shit, I heard those motherfuckers will cook you breakfast and everything. I mean,
Oh,
what?
totally. They're some of the most easily trained dogs in Hollywood.
Okay,
Like really smart.
like Wishbone. Wishbone,
totally
yeah,
like
yeah, Wishbone's
or,
out there solving mysteries and shit.
Eddie on Frasier. The dad's
Oh,
dog
that's
on
right. That's
was,
right.
Jack Russell.
Yeah,
and it was the
okay.
same one for like 6 seasons. It was the same dog.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think they got a Jack Russell Terrier teaching a class down here at the University of Texas. But
You should be surprised about that. It's the university.
oh, fuck you. But so you couldn't go see Death Race?
I couldn't go see Death Race because their dog is a cripple. It has to wear a diaper. It's incontinent. You leave it outside too long.
So the dog is old.
Not even. No, she jumped off the deck like a dumbass.
Oh shit! So
My parents have a raised up deck. Dog's like, hey, there's a squirrel out there. Let me go jump 10 feet to my doom. Complete moron.
Oh, some dogs are stupid like that.
Yeah. So now my parents, rather than handle the situation the way I would, are just dealing with a dumb, crippled dog.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, while you're there, why don't you just take him in the back and put him out of his misery, blow the back of his head off?
I would, except my brother's leaving to college, my sister's leaving to college, and my mom is already going through too much drama.
Okay, I mean, people, I was kidding. I love animals. I would not do that to a dog. I mean, I'm not saying Kent wouldn't, but I wouldn't. So,
I totally wouldn't even care.
damn, Kent. I'm sure people kind of like right now, up to this point, they were like, Kent's not so bad a guy, man. And you just said that like, see that motherfucker, man. He wants to kill dogs.
I'm just trying to be controversial because controversy brings hits to most websites.
I got us in trouble this week with one thing. We ain't gonna even go there, so Death Race, man. Now this movie is a remake, of course, and I think a lot of people are kind of shying away from things that are remakes when they really don't know that much about them. I don't know.
It's really a remake as much as it is kind of just in the spirit of the original film.
Well, I mean,
a few other.
It's technically a remake. If we were to classify it, it would be a remake. Of course, they took liberties to it, but they brought certain things in there. Like for anybody who's seen the original, you have David Carradine who played Frankenstein. I think that's David Carradine. David Carradine. And you had Sylvester Stallone as Machine Gun Joe, and in this movie we got Jason Statham, playing Frankenstein, and then you have Tyrese Gibson playing Machine Gun Joe, and
excellent interview with. People should still go listen to that.
Oh, you know what? It was all him, man. He was just a real cool guy. If an interview was great, it's hardly because of the interview, unless the interviewer is just a dumbass and doesn't know how to ask questions. But it helps to talk to somebody who's a real cool guy. And and
he's a good actor. I like him.
And in this movie, he was one of my favorite guys in the movie. I think what people who complain against the movie, it didn't take they had a great satirical premise in the first movie, which is you run over pedestrians and you get points for it. So if you're out in the street, you're all game. In this movie, of course, they can't go that far for a mainstream film, so they took prisoners who were killing each other in a prison because they're all bad guys and they deserve it. So that's how they did that. I thought the movie was going to be number 1 for some reason, but I guess we can sit up here and second guess why it wasn't. I can't tell you why, but it wasn't a bad film. But at $12 million, $12,293,000, they were probably expecting more. So.
I'm gonna look at a quick little website called The Numbers.
Oh, there he
I'm
goes.
gonna see what its budget is. You heard me typing.
DJ Ken is on the scoop. So what are you looking for exactly? What? Is the site going to say, Kent, this is why they didn't do that well?
Oh, man. I cannot find it. Now I look like a dumbass.
See, there you go. That's what you do, trying to be Scoop Kent. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. The movie's out, man. The movie.
Oh, no, this is it. Its budget was $65 million.
So it's a major disappointment.
Yeah, it's got a long way to go.
and it ain't gonna get there. Not in the theaters. It's not.
On video, I'm sure it's gonna kill.
Yeah, on DVD it'll do well.
Rated cut of that movie, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and it was a fun movie. I mean, I had a good time. A lot of people, and a lot of people split on that. On our review, a lot of people came in and they were saying, "Wow, this is a straight flush on this movie." They had every rating except better than sex. And if co-host had been there, it would have been better than sex for him. I guarantee you. So we should have had him there. We would have had every rating possible that we have available. But yeah, movies. That's bad business for this movie. $12 million. 12,000 be terrible.
The next get smart and word of mouth gets it going a little bit more.
Yeah, well, the movie's gonna come and go with all this stuff. A fall is approaching, so too bad. And that's even worse because Tyrese is such a nice guy. I wish that guy better luck. Anyway, let's move on to number 2.
Oh, I gotta sing.
Yeah, you do. Come on, you just got 2 more, man. You can get out the way.
Number 2.
Damn, you sound like Marilyn Monroe right there. You know that thing that me and Ken aren't having sex. We are when he talks like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's my happy birthday, Mr. Coleman.
All right, so number 2 is The House Bunny, a movie that I thought wasn't going to even be probably in the top 10, or if it was, it's going to be very low. That's too bad.
Guys over at firstshowing.net, which is where I go for most of my movie news before, I basically rip them off.
Mm-hmm. And we appreciate that.
They had a cartoon up saying why people will go see it, and girls will be like, it's gonna be like Legally Blonde. It's gonna be sweet and cute. And then guys are like, it's a Playmate? Boobs. I'm going.
And there's no boobs in there, by the way.
Oh, absolutely not. There isn't. Why? No.
Now that was my reasoning to think that it wasn't going to do that well. First of all, I didn't see it advertised that much. The movie made $15 million, by the way, $15,100,000. I didn't think it was going to do that well because I didn't see as many advertisements for it as there were for some other movies coming out this week, like Death Race. And then I said it's a movie about a playmate and there's no nudity. So I'm thinking,
a huge disappointment. How are you going? That's like false advertising.
Exactly. It's
just call the movie The Cock Tease. What are you doing?
I didn't think of that because I guess when I saw the movie, I thought it was better than it was going to be. I actually had a lot of fun with it. I mean, it is not a good movie by any means, but it delivers on what it has to do, and that's to make you laugh.
Anna Faris, right?
Anna Faris plays, and she's fine. What's that?
And fine. She's fine and funny.
Yes.
I laugh at most of the stuff she does. So
no, she's actually a great comedian, and she in the movie she's just so lovable. You're not even looking at her as and I'm not saying lovable as in I want to bend over and do it because I do, but in the movie I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, wow, she's so naive and stupid. She's like a child, and you're looking at her like she's almost like E.T. or something, and you're thinking
it's like, oh, isn't that precious?
Exactly. You just want to pat on the head before you pat on the ass. And then and the movie just ended up being kind of a lamer version of Legally Blonde. I thought Legally Blonde was a really good movie. But and now I have to go and do a video for this because it's number 2 because I didn't think it was going to be up in there. So I'm going to be working on that tonight. But anyway, House Bunny, good. I'm glad it did well. I enjoyed myself in that movie. Now, for number 1... Go ahead. It's your last one, man. Make it good.
I make it good. I'm gonna pull it out. You ready?
I'm ready. Here you go.
Number 1.
Damn, I was expecting something more climactic than that. It's like, you ready? You ready?
That was my Goulet.
You're Robert Goulet? All right. Goulet. That's good enough. Okay, so number 1 is The Rocker, which I didn't think was going to actually do anything. No, number 1 is Tropic Thunder.
You scared me, man. I was like, what sheet am I looking at? What is this?
You're like, where you getting your information from? Yeah, number 1 is Tropic Thunder. Again, it was number 1 last week. Last week did very well. This week it made $16 million, $60,100,000, bringing its total up to $65,668,000. Not bad for a movie that has to go up against something that's just constantly coming against weeks of movie coming out over and over again. I'm not even making any sense there. This is big into me. No, every week there are a number of new movies being released, and Tropic Thunder is holding on pretty well against that.
That's good, considering it still has $30 million to go to break even.
Does it?
Yeah. Damn. I mean, it's a good film. Go with your friend. I've seen it twice. I love it. I'd probably go see it again if I had the free time.
Yeah.
But it's a big movie. I don't think people realize how big of a movie it really is.
Well,
as far as effects go, or
the effects and the number of actors that are in the movie.
Yeah, you have a lot of A-listers in that movie. So,
yeah,
B-listers.
Now, speaking of The Rocker, that's a movie that didn't even break the top 10. That movie came in at number 12.
Came out Friday.
What's that?
It just came out Friday, right?
And it just came out Friday. Didn't even crack. It came in at number 2. That movie made $2 million.
Number 12.
I mean, I'm sorry. Did I say number 12? I'm sorry. Movie came in number 12. Didn't even make it made $2 million, man. I think that's how much it cost to feed people on that movie.
When you open up and you do worse than Mamma Mia by 3 films.
Oh man, it's sad.
Yeah,
no. And the movie was being advertised everywhere, and I thought that the movie was going to
over MySpace. It took over like a few websites.
Yeah,
and just that amount of advertising. I don't understand why it tanked so bad, considering how much advertising it had.
I don't either. I can't understand it, unless there was just no interest in the lead actor. And it's that guy from The Office. I can't think
that guy's hilarious too.
And he is hilarious. I can't remember his name right now, but I thought he was very funny, and I thought this was going to be a movie where it's going to help his film career, kind of make him a kind of a front man in comedy. And sorry, dude, it didn't. So
this is hilarious.
What
keywords for this movie on this website are delayed adulthood.
Oh well, there it is right there. No wonder the movie bombed.
Yeah, $15 million budget. It's got a long way to go.
Wow, man! And the House Bunny already made that shit up. Well, the movie takes like 3 times its budget to make it up. But House Bunny made $15 million this weekend, so that sucks, man, for that movie. I hadn't seen it, but I heard it was all right. And the weird thing is, that's one of the few movies that Fox did have screenings for. In Austin, but what they did was they did something shitty. They had screenings for it like a month ago. They had 2 screenings a month ago, and that was in the middle of a lot of other screenings. Now, last week they had another screening, but where did they have it? In San Antonio. I live in Austin, and they said we were going to have another, because we said we're not going to see it if there's not going to be another screening. Is there going to be another screening? Yes, there will probably be several more screenings before the release date, and we didn't get one after that. And it's a 20th Century Fox movie, man. See, it's really helping y'all's movies, man. That you're keeping them away from us. It's doing you wonders.
It's great.
You sons of bitches.
But honestly, I wouldn't have seen that anyway. So,
well, there you go.
Let's be honest. I mean, do you want to get into this topic?
Yeah, I do. First of all, before I forget, though, I want to get into the Superman thing because I'll forget about it. Speaking of a Superman reboot. Let go of the old Superman, okay? It's great. Mm-hmm. It's what it is. It's what it was. It's a classic movie. It has one of the classic theme songs. I was talking to someone about this, and they said, in this reboot, as long as they have the original theme, I'm fine. And I'm saying that's a great theme. Yeah, just start over. And let's stop having Lex Luthor be the villain. If you want to put him in there with another villain, that's fine. But I have yet to see Superman have a kick-ass villain.
Oh, General Zod.
No, I'm sorry, General Zod. General Zod. Forgive me on that. I keep forgetting about that. Superman 2, one of the best sequels ever made.
Gotta say, Richard Donner cut. Gotta see it. If you've seen Superman 2, you owe it to yourself to see the Richard Donner cut of that movie.
And Richard Donner directed Superman 2. So,
well, he was fired halfway through doing Superman 2.
Oh, he was?
And they brought in this French dude to finish it up. And that's why Superman 2 falls apart. See, do you mind if I talk about it a little bit?
No, go ahead.
What happened is, if you watch Superman 1, they were filming them both at the same time. Mm-hmm. Superman 1 and 2. And they ran out of money, and they said, we need to get Superman 1 out there, because they were going to release them 6 months apart. And they were like, we're out of money. Release Superman 1, and we'll come back and we'll finish Superman 2 later when we get our money back. Well, in Superman 1, there's a few things that just because they fired Richard Donner don't make sense in Superman 2. Like his father telling him, don't mess with time. Whatever you do, do not alter the course of time. That's the one thing you can't do. Well, he does that at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And there's no consequences.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like thinking, well, actually, it worked out good for him.
Yeah, it worked out fine. What originally was going to happen was he was going to go back in time and that was going to destroy the Phantom Zone, and that's why he was going to have to fight General Zod in the second film and his cronies, and it was all going to be tied in with that. And because they got rid of Richard Donner, they got rid of half the script.
Oh, okay.
They just filled it in, so that's why he goes to Paris and throws a nuke into outer space, and it's just total garbage.
Okay,
so
all right, I hear you. So I
owe to yourself to see the Richard Donner cut because it fixes a lot of the mistakes.
Well, I will go and see that, and I never liked the end. I've always hated the end of Superman where he reverses the Earth and reverses time. It doesn't make sense to me.
You may hate the end of Richard Donner's cut, but it makes a little bit more sense.
Okay, because I hate that. I'm not going to even lie. I hate that about that movie. But Terrence Stamp as General Zod, man, that guy.
He's great.
Oh, he was a badass. Yeah, and you know something? I'm looking at the remake of Superman. First of all, it's kind of dull. I mean, I'm sure you like. For those who like the movie, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not trying to start anything with you. But for me, for a new Superman movie, I was expecting something brand new.
The Superman Returns film.
And it was Superman Returns. Okay, so it's called Superman Returns. All right, so obviously it has some connection to the first movie. All right, I'm a little excited to see what they do. I see it. The movie it takes so much from Superman 2. It almost repeats scenes from that movie, like the whole thing of catching the plane and dropping it into the baseball arena.
Yeah, that was basically when he caught Air Force One when the engine went out.
Exactly.
It was way cooler, and if you saw it in IMAX, it was in 3D.
And I'm thinking, all right, not only is it ripping off these other movies, it's not trying to do anything inspired. It's kind of slow outside of that, and it had no real sense of danger in the movie at all. Instead, there was a love story that kind of brought it down. And then they present this whole thing of him getting Lois Lane pregnant. And so we never saw Son of Superman in anything. We don't want to see the Son of Superman. We don't want to set that up.
It could have been cool. That could have been done okay. A lot of people forget that they actually had sex in Superman 2, and this was supposed to be
remember that. Okay.
He took her to his palatial, freezing house with no heaters.
Oh, yeah.
Made of ice, retarded. And they had sex. And then he disappears with no reason. That screenplay is so bad, that they set up probably the best Lex Luthor as far as I'm concerned. I love Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor.
You see, you and I disagree on that. I'm tired.
Like
no, because first of all, I'm tired of a comedic Lex Luthor. If you're going to do something different, give me a Lex Luthor like they had in the animated series where he's kind of a badass. He's not only is he smart, but he's not man, he ain't trying to crack jokes and be funny. He says, I'm out here to rule the world and beat the shit out of Superman if I get in the process.
You know what? Superman looks like a bitch at the end of Superman Returns, though.
Yeah, he does. Because he is a bitch at the end of Superman Returns.
Yeah, at the end of Superman Returns, Luthor pretty much won so much that they kind of changed the rules of Superman in order to let him win. Superman has a piece of kryptonite stuck in his ribs, and yet he's able to lift an island into the sky and throw it into the sun.
Yeah, see, I ain't trying to hear that. All right. Bad. I want Lex Luthor to, cut the bullshit. All right? I want Lex Luthor to be like, you know what? I might not be super powered like you are, but I'm going to still whoop your motherfucking ass. All right? Come on, bring it on.
There's a trailer for a fake film called World's Finest. You can Google it.
I saw it.
That's badass.
It's a good fan film.
Lex Luthor, he puts on the suit from Super Friends.
I didn't like that suit. That's that pimp ass suit. No, I like Lex Luthor to be. I like that GQ Lex Luthor. The Lex Luthor in the suit coming out saying, you know what? I'm gonna take over the world. I'm gonna do this shit in style. I'm tall. I'm strong. I'm a badass. I'm so bad. I'm gonna tell Superman, you can go fuck yourself. You want to fight me? No, you can't even beat me. And I'm human. I want to see that kind of Lex Luthor. I don't want Lex Luthor be coming out and I'm like, hey, knock, knock. Who's there? Lex Luthor. No, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want any funny jokes out of you. All right. I want you to be a badass. That's just me though. I mean, you know me, man. I'm pretty fair. If you got your opinions, that's it. This is just what I want. And then they'll come out and they'll make something completely different and everybody will be happy or upset.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a J.J. Abrams screenplay out there.
Really?
From before Superman Returns came out. He wrote it in about 02 or 03. And it turns the Superman world on its ear. And Carlisle hates it. I've talked to him about it. He hates it. But I'm a longtime Superman fan, and I loved it because of the gutsy changes it makes.
What does it do?
Krypton didn't explode. In fact, there's a civil war going on Krypton. and Clark is sent away to kind of train on Earth to get ready to come back and save his home planet. And it opens up with the entire world hating him because an army of Kryptonians have landed on Earth and just destroyed most of the planet.
All right, that sounds crazy to me.
It is badass the way it opens. It opens up with like fights through the air with Kryptonians flying everywhere. Superman's got the snot kicked out of him. And then it all rushes back to seeing the origin story of him growing up on the farm, the crash landing, him growing up and actually being afraid of his powers as a child. And that's where you get the geeky Clark from, is because his parents were like, you're a little too strong, son. You got to wind it back, because he does some stuff to really hurt people as a young kid.
Okay. I mean, it could work. I haven't seen it put in action. It could be all right.
I don't want to give away the twist. Cover your ears, fans. If you don't care, but the end of it turns Lex, who actually isn't a billionaire in this version, he's an FBI agent. Turns out he's a Kryptonian.
Okay, I don't like this.
You don't like it?
No, I don't. I'm done. I'm done with
really
this. It's not Superman anymore. And I mean, that's kind of cool as an alternate. If it was a graphic novel, a what if, an alternate version of Superman, then I could take that. But as a movie, I think fans want to see Superman.
Like as a billionaire.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we know.
The president, like he was in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, anything like that. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want to see a retread of a movie I've already seen. If you're gonna redo it, keep the main elements there that make it what it is, but at the same time, try something different. I mean, that's what they did with Batman, and look at what we got. So,
yeah, we got geniusness everywhere. Mm-hmm.
So now you want to talk about 20th Century Fox here? Yeah,
I'm kind of just annoyed with them as a company. From everything I've been hearing about them and what they've done this year.
Yeah, I mean, they're really baffling me now. Carlisle, I will admit it. I mean, whether what he's saying is true or not about a lot of things, I don't know. But I will say he's kept up more on that issue than I have. All I know is that I've seen lately how their movies are doing. They've had a string of bombs. In fact, The Rocker was a 20th Century Fox film, as we just mentioned. And they're not. And then they take this practice of they're not allowing us to see movies here. And at least in this city, I think in other cities they do. It's a bitch for me to get press materials from them. They are so scared of the internet right now, and they don't realize how it could how to utilize it and how it could be a benefit. And I'm just thinking that this decision to keep things so heavily guarded and make bad decisions, such as, now if these are true or not, I don't know, but come in and make superhero movies more family friendly, like I've heard that rumored with Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm hearing Wolverine might actually. You have the craziest character in the Marvel universe in that film, Deadpool, and they cast Ryan Reynolds because he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah,
and it's like, why? You have a great source material, but they don't pay attention to it.
Now who's the head of 20th Century Fox?
I can find that out real quick.
I can't remember. Tim Hedman, Rothman, or something like that. I mean, because I don't want to come out and just talk about this guy and just say,
no,
hey,
it's a company as a whole. It's not the one guy.
You have the head of 20th Century Fox right now, and apparently he's gone in and made some decisions. Put his hand in the middle of certain things. I don't know if it's true or not because I haven't looked it up. Anybody feel free to tell me. According to Carlisle and some other people I've heard of, this guy's gone in and said, I don't want to make certain superhero movies what they are. I want to release this kind of movie, and right now, for whatever the reason is, and please somebody tell me if you know, because I don't want to come in and just start acting like I know everything.
Is his name Tom Rothman?
That would be it. Yeah.
Tom Rothman.
Did you find that?
Yeah, I found
that's exactly it. That's his name. Yeah, and apparently this guy's come in and made a lot of bad business decisions. Now, I would like to know if this is true, because whether it's true or not, Fox is definitely going through some problems. I mean, I'm looking at Meet Dave, this movie, The Rocker. I think
they only had one hit this year. They released 17 films. and only one of them was, good and that, or well received, and that was Horton Hears a Who at the, that was 5 months ago.
And wasn't Meet the Spartans released through 20th Century Fox?
It might have been, yeah.
Now that's sad if that's true. Look that up for me. You're on the computer right now. See if that was released by 20th Century Fox. That's fucking sad. If one of the highlights of your year is Horton Hears a Who, which wasn't a terrible film, not my favorite, but at least it had some quality production behind it. And then the other movie is Meet the Spartans.
Distributed by 20th Century Fox. Yeah.
Fuck you, 20th Century Fox. All right, get your shit together. Now, as I've said, every studio goes through a slump. And for whatever reason it may be, they release a string of bad movies. I cannot help but think that 20th Century Fox is going through a period right now where they're sweating and pointing fingers at somebody.
Absolutely.
Because,
whose idea was it to release X-Files against the Dark Knight?
See, that's what I'm saying. I do not know. I mean, because I don't have the time to research this stuff. I want to now. I want to make it I want to go in because basically the reason why I'm so concerned about this is that they have had a string of flops. You just named another one, X-Files. Why the hell would anybody want to release an X-Files movie? Who is heading that studio that thinks that it was? I mean, it might be Tom Rothman, might not be, but who is in that whole company as a collective thinks that releasing an X-Files movie, a show that's been off for years, a movie that's happened several years ago, and there's not even any buzz on X-Files. Who thought that, you know what, in the summer of Batman and Iron Man and all these high-profile, big-budget movies.
You save that. If you're going to make it, you keep going with your continuous storyline. You make it about aliens. Because that's what X-Files is known for. Instead of this, that movie's plot is so garbage that it becomes hard to watch.
So because I don't think anything would have saved it. I mean, because that was their thing. They said, you know something, the reason why the last movie wasn't received very well is because we concentrated on this whole thing with the alien plot line. Well, you know what? We're going to do something different now where we have this one shot.
Yeah, that movie wasn't received well because people, in order to understand the film, had to be watching the show.
Uh-huh.
Because it was a continuing storyline from the show. And it didn't end. The story did not end at the end of that film. Nothing was solved. You had to continue watching the TV show in order to wrap up that storyline. And that's not a good idea for a movie. That's a terrible idea for a movie.
Well, apparently with this movie, there's still certain things you have to be an extreme X-File fan to kind of know. And my whole point is
motivation is your number one, leading thing. That if you don't understand a character's mindset, then you're not going to understand their actions in a film.
Yeah.
And you really have to have been a fan of the X-Files to understand where anybody was coming from in this movie.
And let's face it, man. It was Gillian Anderson, whoever played I mean, she's not a huge movie star. She's doing stuff on I think for television, some PBS series and whatnot. She lives in England now. David Duchovny is successful with a TV show, Californication, on Showtime.
Love that show.
Yeah,
so good.
But that's a show on Showtime. That's not. Yeah. He's not a huge movie star. Everybody else, Amanda Peet and Exhibit. I mean, come on, man. That movie had no real stars that people were dying to see.
No, not at all.
And a movie like that can succeed if there's hype over the X-Files. You don't need any real major stars, but nobody was thinking about the X-Files.
No, not at all.
So now you do, and that movie's a bomb. They got all these other movies. Now, where I'm going with this is, I normally wouldn't care about 20th Century Fox as long as I would care because I would want them to release better quality movies. And I have to admit, even the movies that aren't doing that well were not quality films. I haven't seen The Rocker. I hear it's okay, but come on. It's a kind of a movie you're dumping at the end of summer, which is what they did.
Yeah.
Now, they're keeping shit from the web, from the internet. I mean, I get tapes saying, don't use this for the internet. We're kept from screenings. There are hardly any 20th Century Fox screenings here. Next week, Babylon AD. I don't know how the movie's going to do, but are we going to go see it? No. And if that movie...
I've seen that movie.
Where'd you see it?
One of my friends is working in the movie industry, and one of his friends is in it.
So, okay. Is this bullshit? I mean, did you really see the movie? Don't be playing here.
No. I'm not playing. I saw a staff screening of it.
Okay.
And it was not like go to the theater, show your credentials, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was your name's on a list, you get in. It's a small room, and it was at some publicist building in San Francisco.
So how was the movie?
It's terrible. It is total garbage. It's based on a comic book called Babylon Babies.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
It's an okay comic, and it is a terrible film. It is basically Riddick meets Triple X meets Fast and the Furious. This guy, there's even a scene where they were like, let's do something with their eyes to get the Riddick feel in there. So there's a scene involving them and the terrible green light and awful contacts. And
Riddick is the character he played in Pitch Black and the Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, it's just complete garbage. The movie is so unwatchable.
See, man, now them keeping these movies from us, they must say, okay, we don't want to give this to people on the internet or any kind of real press right now because when I'm looking at this roster of movies and they're all bullshit. Until we clean up our act, maybe we'll let the public go in there and watch these films. But there's no screening for that. And I'm just wondering, look, if they're bad movies, getting the word of mouth out there is only going to help the movie. I mean, if you let us see it, even if we say it's bad, you think we're going to keep people from going to see the film? I mean, we're not going to do that. I mean, we're going to put
somebody's going to like it too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. One of you guys is going to like it. Everyone on the Spill crew has different tastes.
I mean, maybe we will. Maybe we'll all just collectively say, yeah, this is bullshit. But you know what? It got out there. The Rocker. You know what you did? You put it all over the internet, and you put it over, and you put it on a few channels on TV. And a lot of critics were kind of shut out by the weird scheduling of it. Mm-hmm. And look at what that did. All the marketing you did on television and just controlling it like you did on the internet. It really did that movie some good. Yeah, I mean, and right now, we don't get to see hardly any of your movies, 20th Century Fox. I mean, that was another one. Mirrors. Mirrors is kind of dumped. Is that movie still in the top 5? Nah. Movie just kind of, I had to go see that on my own.
It's in the top. It's number 7.
Okay, see? I mean, come on. I mean, goddamn. Look, first and foremost, quit shutting us out. I mean, quit making it hard for us to see your movies. If we don't like them, we don't like them. Are we going to be honest? But putting that word of mouth out there, we're not hurting your movies. You're hurting your movies. Don't blame the internet, okay? Because apparently, judging from the way you've been conducting your business, it's still shitty. Okay, shit is shit. But you know what? Shit can be helped if you let people even a mangy dog carries a flea from one point to another. You know what I mean? It's just, we're gonna like probably say bad things about it, but the word will get out there.
Yeah.
You know, you let people write about it. Yeah.
True that no press is the worst type of press you can have. If you mention the film, someone's going to hear about it and see it, especially with nothing else new is coming out.
Exactly.
That is
being stupid. You know, I mean, look at what's going on around you, goddammit. I mean, you got Iron Man and Batman and the Hulk and all these motherfuckers are kicking your ass, 20th Century Fox. What are you doing? You fucking up X-Man. You know, you too busy trying to actually.
Not just doing that though either. Can we talk about what they're doing with Watchmen?
Oh, the whole thing where they're trying to stop Watchmen. Now I heard that. I read that, and I heard that actually 20th Century Fox had a point there. You go ahead and tell people about the story. I won't take that away from you.
There's two rumors out there. One of them's true. One of them isn't. One is that they're actually trying to stop the films from being distributed, and that's not true. In the lawsuit, there's a cease on it, like say, don't distribute it. You're not allowed to. But they're not saying they don't want the film to get out there. What they are saying is we own part of the distribution rights back from the 90s. Because what they did was back in the 90s, or actually from 86 to 91, they held the rights to make the film, right?
Yeah.
They sold those rights off to Lawrence Gordon or Gordon Lawrence. I'm not sure which. I have it in a blog. And he now works for Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So he owns the rights to make the film. But Fox retained rights to distribute it. So he went and made this film, and then Fox is kind of like, hey, digging up old files and seeing that they do indeed own the rights to distribute the film. So, but I mean, it is 20 years later. It's kind of a dick move to make.
Well, I mean, that is a legal matter. I mean, if it's there and it's documented, I can't blame Fox for that because they have, if that's true, they have records of that. And if it's still, if there's no statute of limitations on that rule, if it hasn't dropped and it still exists for today, that is something that, legal matters being what they are, even the smallest details come back to bite you on the ass. And I'm sure 20th Century Fox is saying now, 20th Century Fox, I mean, they might not be smart with how they're doing their movies these days. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking, but do I think they're a bunch of idiots when it comes to business like that? Not really. And I think that they're seeing this as, if this is true, they see this as a way to say, you know what, this movie's probably going to be huge. If nothing else, we want our cut from it.
Yeah.
Something's got to be worked out here. And anybody would do that for a movie that's a high profile film coming out. They'd be like, hey, we still got this little stickler here. We're gonna get whatever we can out of it. I mean, shit. The 20th Century Fox probably say, "Hey, we fucking up our own movies. Let's get on to the Watchmen and try to get something from that." So
I'm looking at Fox's list of films that they've made, like the top 100 highest grossing films of this year. Mm-hmm. They've got Horton Hears a Who in number 7, and their next highest grossing film is a Fox Searchlight picture. That was Juno. And
Fox Searchlight is cool. That's kind of a different division.
Yeah, Fox, I mean, it's still like. When the big budget films are doing worse than the small indie film that they just bought from, Sundance, you have problems.
You dumb motherfuckers. I mean, look, Juno, Fox Searchlight, for the record, Juno, not Juno, but Fox Searchlight is a movie studio that is headed under a different division, and we get stuff from Fox Searchlight all the time. And
they're very cool. They make really good movies,
and they make movies. I mean, they're the more independent side of 20th Century Fox. So yeah, the movies are going to have a little bit a different standard than the mainstream
like
stuff.
Juno, Street Kings, Darjeeling Limited, films like that.
So yeah, the very independent movies, very free, independent spirit type movies. So yeah, they, even though independent, what does that mean these days? I mean, Juno still had stars in it and had a multi-million-dollar budget, but for the most part, yeah, exactly. So, but I don't know, man. I really don't know. Right now I'm just sitting back and hoping that something major happens to the studio. I'm not even saying something bad, but there's some sort of shake up there where they say, first of all, let's quit fucking with the internet. Internet is not our problem. Our problem is our movies. We make movies. We're to blame for what's happening here. All right, that's all. And start giving us some screenings. Giving us screenings to better movies, you sons of bitches. So anyway, that's my whole thing right there. Oh, there was one thing I was going to talk about before we get into email. Amanda Bynes, I just saw something posted on the internet, on our site actually, that she was in a car wreck. Yeah. And
here's hoping she recovers from that, whatever the damage is.
Well, apparently there was no damage, and I said, thank God, because when you hear about, hey, look, I'm a guy, and all the girls know I'm a pig. I've had some girls tell me, Corey, you're a pig. I'm like, hey, well, you got me there. What, you want to argue with this?
Cute as hell, dude.
Oink, 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 baby. Okay, but I'm rolling in mud right now. But Amanda Bynes is hot, man, all right? And I don't want anything to happen to that. I'm sorry. She's legal now, right?
Yeah, okay. Definitely.
Woo! Thank God, boy. I was so scared at first. I mean, yeah, she's legal now, and that girl is hot, fine. And when these guys are in car wrecks and whatnot, I admit I'm concerned, but I don't care. I don't want anything to happen to these fine ass girls out here, though. Please, Amanda, drive carefully.
After last week.
Yeah. Well, what happened last week?
Christina Applegate.
Oh man, yeah, that was sad, man. Breast cancer, but I'm sure she'll be all right.
Mastectomy, double mastectomy. What's the word?
Mastectomy.
Whatever. She.
Misogyny. No, I think it's mastectomy.
Restless.
She had a mastectomy, and I don't think that happened.
Bad chicken.
No, she didn't have a mastectomy. I don't think that happened. I hope I'm saying that right. And I would be really depressed about that. Oh, and somebody told me that I just got something here. Oh man, let me look and see. Somebody told me that.
No. Okay.
Somebody told me that someone died. I'm trying to figure out who this is. The Shaolin of Harlem. Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
the
no.
Shogun, the Shogun of Harlem. I got to look this up, but I forgot the guy's name. I just saw this a little while ago. And we're talking about the guy from the Last Dragon, right?
Yeah, Last Dragon.
Oh man, that depressed me.
Showing up.
Show enough.
Show.
Kiss my Converse. Show enough. You know, that depressed me if that's true. The villain from the Last Dragon died. What's that?
Julius Carey.
That's him. That guy. They said that guy died, and look him up on IMDb because
I am right now. It hasn't been updated yet
No,
because it's saying
because nobody knows he wasn't that big.
No. Here it is. Actor Julius Carey dies. The star passed away on Tuesday, according to MediaTakeout.com. Well, that's a great name. The details of his death have yet to be released.
Oh man, that makes me sad. Now, do me a favor, look up and see if he's in a movie called Disco Godfather.
Yep, 1979. It's his first film.
I thought that was him, man. That was his first. That guy. People go out and watch Disco Godfather. That is one of my favorite movies. Disco Godfather. It's hilarious. People, they're probably even tired of me talking about this if you have frequent interactivity with me because I mention this movie a lot. That movie has the best drug freak out scene ever. I love it. And Julius Carey was the nephew in that movie. In fact, he plays a guy named Bucky. He's a basketball star who gets on angel dust, and he's about to throw his And Rudy Ray Moore, who plays the Disco Godfather in the movie, is his uncle. And one of my favorite lines of the movie is Bucky, because he freaks out at the club. He starts acting like he's playing basketball with no basketball. He's looking at people. What the fuck y'all looking at? I'm a star. And then Disco Godfather comes up and he's like, Bucky, what have you had? And later on in the movie, he's at the hospital like, take care of Bucky and what he had. It's like, I love it. And I'm looking at him and I was like, I've seen that guy in other movies. And I was like, okay, he was the Shogun of Harlem. Wow. Sad.
He's got a lot of one-shots in his acting career.
A lot of one-shots like what?
Yeah, just like Hill Street Blues, one episode as the cab customer. The White Shadow as basketball player. Fame as Billy Walters. The A-Team. Just
the guy kept
science.
The guy kept working.
Yeah. I mean, he was on a Perry Mason movie.
As a matter of fact, I think I remember him in a movie, The New Guy. Was he in the New Guy?
Yeah, in 2002, he played the coach.
Okay, yeah. I thought I kept recognizing that guy pop up everywhere. Yeah, man, he's hey, look, I know he's not a extremely well-known guy. It's not somebody you go off and nobody's going to go off and write these deep obituaries about him and give him the praise like they did for somebody like.
That's where I know him from.
Where?
Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. He was Lord Bowler.
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah, I love that show as a kid too. So
well, nobody's gonna go in and give him some big obituary or praise like Bernie Mac or like who's the director that just died recently? Jeez, that's terrible that I can't remember that guy's name because he was big. No. What? God, now that I said it, we got to remember it. I feel bad about this.
Me too. I don't even know who you're talking about.
He directed 3 Days of the Condor. Jesus, that's horrible, man. I can't remember his name.
I'm just gonna go look at that.
People, when I get in front of a camera, in front of a mic, things just slip my mind. I was playing
like I just said. And then you said no. It was Sidney Pollack.
Oh, Sidney Pollack. I'm glad I thought of that. No, you were wrong, man.
Rewind the MP3.
Man, I was playing Trivia Pursuit once, and somebody had a question about Pretty Woman, and I forgot who Julia Roberts was on the spot. That's just me. That's why I'm not. People who think I'm a movie buff, I'm not. I'm bad at trivia, mainly because I just can't remember shit half the time, even when I know who it is. But Sidney Pollack, yeah, he's not gonna get some big thing like Sidney Pollack or anybody, you know. Yeah. So, but he will. Hey, look, I remember the guy from a lot of movies, and everybody remembers Show Enough from The Last Dragon. So, God bless that guy.
Favorite kung fu sort of kind of movies ever.
that movie is so bad it's good, man. I love that movie. And and The Shining wrote something about him. So Shining, I'm gonna put your post up probably later on tonight. We've been getting so many postings from people on the site that it's kind of hard to give people equal time now, and I've been trying to do it. It's just, and you guys have been doing a kick-ass job putting in work into your blogs.
Yeah, a lot of really good blogs from a lot of users.
Yeah, no,
So,
you have been. Right now, we're changing the page up to where we can at least probably. This is what I last heard. We're putting up a headline section so that even if you don't get a picture with your stuff on the front page, at least the headline will be there and it will be featured on the front page. So we're trying to accommodate. I mean, this whole thing is growing and we're learning as we go along. So yeah, keep them coming, man. We're going to make this better. So
yeah, if you gave me a reason to use my Twitter, I'm going to follow you guys right now.
Really? No, that's good. No, and I don't even update as much as I do. Last Twitter I did was probably 2 months ago. I was in Houston. Okay, I think Carlisle did that Twitter. The last Twitter that I did, I was in. It's such a bad thing that I'm always talking about getting drunk, but apparently this is my life. I was in Houston. I got bored. And went out driving, and everything was closed except this one place where they played Tejano music. There were a bunch of Mexicans in there. Nobody spoke English. I ordered a lot of beer, got drunk, and was out there dancing like I was crazy with people who didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I'm sure they were saying El Negro Estupido when they were looking at me. So, hey, El Negro. So yeah, I put that on Twitter. I'm like, I'm drunk right now, and I'm at a place where they don't speak English. Yeehaw!
Oh man, that iPhone is dangerous, man. It's dangerous.
That iPhone is bad, man. Yeah, that iPhone, it gives me too much connection to the world 24 hours a day.
Gotta leave that in the glove box next time you go in a bar.
I know. I'm at a gay bar, and the experience isn't bad. So I'm in my underwear. Now, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. So anyway, you want to get into some email?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because
none of this is gonna be directed towards me, so.
Well, that doesn't mean that you can't answer. That doesn't mean that you can't answer. You've been a good host so far. I mean, it's
well, thank you.
No, you've been a great host, man. Because that's all I'm looking for. Somebody who can talk, have a sense of humor, and
welcome to co-host 4,000.
There you go. And just and just know stuff. Know more than I do. Like I said, I'm not a movie buff, man. I come out.
I try. My brain is so full of just useless facts about DJs and records and.
Well, that'll be for the DJ show I'm starting up, but don't bring that shit in here. No, I'm kidding. No, it's cool, man. No, I know stuff about movies. I keep up with stuff, but really, I like to call myself someone who loves to just make people laugh and have a conversation with people and meet friends. Don't consider me a movie buff. I do that at parties and people say, "Hey, Corey knows." I'm like, "No, don't look at me. I don't know shit. All right, I'm not a know-it-all. All right, I know nothing. Okay, I'm dumbass. That's all I know. I'm retarded." So. Let's go ahead and get into our first email here, which is, let me see. Okay, with this one, damn, I forgot the name on this. Sorry about that. And you know what? We already answered this anyway. It's another 20th Century Fox question. So chances are we answer your question. So hell no, I ain't going through that again. That'll be another hour and a half of a show. Okay, here's a question here. And this is a pretty good one. I'd like to get your opinion on this, Kent. Okay, this is from I Won an Emmy, and he says,
"Did you?"
And I seriously doubt he did. That's I won an Emmy.
I'm changing my name right now. I won an Oscar.
Okay, good evening. Yes, I won an Oscar. No, his name is
Nobel Prize winner says.
No, his first name is I Won an Emmy. His last name is I'm Full of Shit. So let's go ahead and get to his question here. It says, I'm aspiring to be a filmmaker and have been so for a really long time. I wanted to be just like Quentin Tarantino and make movies like Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. I have a good friend who also wants to be a filmmaker. I kind of saw us two as Quentin and Tarantino. Quentin and Robert. Two buds making cool movies, but and that's Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I saw us kind of as Quentin and Robert Rodriguez. Two buds making cool movies, but as time passed, I realized how immature, professionally, Tarantino's films can be and how Robert Rodriguez makes movies we've seen before. Plus, I heard Robert Rodriguez left the mother of his kids for Rose McGowan. They're really just not my cup of tea anymore.
Oh.
And then they want to know, I was wondering if there are any childhood heroes you have grown out of. Oh, well, I'm sure there are. There's a lot for me. And as far as the Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez thing, look, Robert Rodriguez is a legend. I don't like all his movies. In fact, the two movies.
It's unwatchable.
What's that?
I find any film he's made for children, I find completely unwatchable.
Well, I'll give him a little. I'll tell you this much. I'm trying to be nice here, and I'm trying not to come in and be snarky. I mean, Robert Rodriguez is a legend. All right, he did something at the age of 23, which is amazing. He made El Mariachi, and that's still one of my favorite movies. I haven't had a favorite movie from him until what is it? Sin City. And even Sin City I'd had problems with, and it's not one of my favorite movies, but I like that movie a lot.
Oh, me too. I love that movie.
Yeah, and Quentin Tarantino, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown.
Love Jackie Brown. The more I watch it, the more I realize it's his best film. I don't care what anybody says.
Jackie Brown, I think
Tarantino's best work.
I will tell you what, there are a few movies that I can watch over and over again. Pulp Fiction is one. For some reason, Training Day is one. There's a very small movie called The Woman Chaser that is one. A movie you will never be able to find. If you want to see that movie, talk to me. I'll be glad to send you a copy because it's an amazing movie if you ask me, and nobody will ever see it. And then there's
that's not a movie you made, is it?
By Carrie Coleman. No, it's not a movie I made, you son of a bitch. No. And Jackie Brown is one movie and the guy who made The Woman Chaser, is a guy named Robinson DeFore. He recently made a movie called Zoo, which is a documentary about men who had sex with horses. Not one of my favorite movies, right there.
I've seen that movie, and it creeped the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's sort of innovative the way he decided to take the approach for a documentary, but still it's about fucking horses, and I was kind of bored even by that. So, but when you see a movie that's about fucking horses, you should be like, damn. That's going to be some exciting shit. I might not like it, but it's going to be interesting. But no, I saw that movie. I'm like, it makes you want to say, okay, when are they going to have sex with the horse? That's all I'm looking forward to.
But pop in the end of Clerks 2 instead.
Yeah, exactly. No, but no, I'm watching. I'm watching Jackie Brown. I'm like, this movie I can watch over and over again. And Quentin Tarantino is an innovative filmmaker. They both are in certain ways. Now, I don't want to talk shit against them because they made their mark. But I can understand you being into these guys and later on saying, you know what? They're not the guys that I thought they were, because actually, I myself am not this genre person who loves the whole idea of I'm going to remake everything that I grew up with. I loved 80s sci-fi and horror movies. I love 70s action films. I'm going to retread those movies and bring them into my own career.
That's fun for a little bit, and I'd love to see other people do it. But filmmakers who get stuck on that kind of thing just kind of it bothers me. You know, because especially when you were so groundbreaking yourself, why backtrack?
Exactly. I like Grindhouse. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I liked Planet Terror. I thought it was fun. It was okay, and I liked the fact that these two guys experiment. Look, for all my bad talk about them, they experiment with things, and I thought Grindhouse was a cool experiment, like Planet Terror. But what's the other one? Death Proof. I was bored by it. I'm sorry. And it was Quentin Tarantino repeating everything that he had done. And these are two guys that get a pass on things that they do, whether they're good or bad.
I think backlash on that now, though, a little bit.
What, Death Proof?
With the whole Grindhouse cinema thing. I think because that movie technically was a failure. It was a really expensive experiment.
Yeah, and they released it on Easter weekend, and the movie came in at fourth place. And so Quentin Tarantino is the guy that experiments with things, and he's influenced by what he is, and he'll make great movies, and he'll make some movies that I think are not that great. Death Proof is a movie where, look, he went and had all this dialogue in his movie. Had it been anybody else doing that these girls talking for as long as they were, and no action was going on, I don't care how much you say, well, that's what a Grindhouse movie is like. It was boring, all right?
It was way boring.
And not only that, but it was him repeating things about movie knowledge and music knowledge that, okay, Quentin Tarantino, we know you know a lot about these past histories of music and movies. I don't need for you to prove that to me anymore, all right? Give me some real dialogue. And, you know, and he got it. What's that?
He didn't really stick to the formula either. That film changes as it goes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he made his Grindhouse film, but I think Robert's the only one who actually stuck to the formula for that double feature.
Yeah, and that's true. And I look at but what happens though, where other people would say the grind, and I even heard this said, yeah, the dialogue wasn't that good, but hey, you know what? That's Quentin Tarantino. I'm like, so why do we give him a pass then? Just because he's Quentin Tarantino? You know, were you bored? Yeah. So okay, just say that to me then.
Yeah, be honest.
Now, if you really like that, you say, look, I thought the dialogue was great. I felt these were real people. That's your opinion. I'm not going to argue with you. But if you come and tell me, oh, that sucked. And then you say, but it was him. Yeah, I know you'll start shit with him. People hate your ass sometimes because I don't know what you
lines before your mama joke.
But and then I look at even Kill Bill. I did not love. I like the second part of Kill Bill, but the first part I'm like, this is filmed well. There's some great cinematography going on, some great acting, but this is regurgitation of stuff that I've seen done better in its own element at its own time. Yeah. That's the only complaint I have with these guys here. Other than that, I'm not going to take away from their accomplishments because, hey, given what they do, they've had some influence on an industry that would otherwise be stale. All right.
Totally. Yeah.
And I appreciate that about them. I mean, I like everything they do.
Both really help the independent film movement. And, getting back to the actual, question in the email, start your own thing. Be your own guy. Don't try to be, a director you really looked up to. Because, I mean, looking up to Tarantino, looking up to Rodriguez, it's almost redundant because their career is based on looking up to somebody else.
Exactly. No, that's true.
What I mean? So, I mean, if you dig their films, cool, but, do your own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you, Kent. You know what? You couldn't have said it better yourself. Trying to repeat what these guys do is very redundant because that's what they've done. Even though I'm reading the script because it's already spilled out, no pun intended there, really no pun intended, but I'm reading the script for Inglourious Bastards.
I'm going to get an email of that later, right?
Well, it's already out there, man. From what I heard, it's going everywhere. Now, somebody sent it to me, and I was like, I'm not going to say anything about this. I'm just going to read it, and that's it. But I heard that it's floating around now.
I'm going to have to check it out because I'm a big fan of the original. So,
well, I don't think it's anything like the original, and I have to say that it could either be very artsy or it could be very cool. But I'm reading it. I'm really into it right now, and I love to see what Quentin Tarantino does with this, man.
Emmy winner. Back to that email. Also, pick up a book if you do like Rodriguez still. He wrote a book called
Rebel Without a Crew.
Rebel Without a Crew. Or how a 23-year-old with $6,000 shook up the Hollywood industry, or something like that. But Rebel Without a Crew is a great read.
Man, let me tell you something. That's one of the best books I've ever read. It really is.
I've read that 3 or 4 times.
It's a great book. It really is. Get that book if you want to be a filmmaker. It is very inspiring. But don't just take this and say I want to be like Robert Rodriguez. If you want to make movies, you're going to make movies. All right, that's what it comes down to. You don't need anybody to. I mean, yeah, people are inspired. Yes, let me change that. People are inspired every day, man. It's how inspired you are and what you do with it. And so go out and do. And you're right, Kent. Go out and do your own thing. Find your own voice.
Just get a camera. Get access to a camera. Get some friends. Start making short films.
Yeah, there you go. So
that's how you're going to do it. If you're going to try and break into an indie type of industry, you got to start making short films.
Yeah. As far as people that I've grown out of, there's some people who I've grown in and out of over the years. George Lucas being the most obvious one. Yeah, I'm sorry. George Lucas is still my hero because I'm going to take the same approach with Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez. I might not like everything he does, but he definitely has had a great influence on the films that we see today. So, anybody with you, man?
Oh, man. Not really. I had a weird, for me it was Christopher Reeve was a big one when I was a kid. And I still haven't grown out of loving his movies. So.
Yeah. Well, let's see. No, that's really cool. Okay, that's cool. Let's move on to a couple of more here, and because I gotta get out of here, I was supposed to be out of here at 9:30. Let's see.
My bad.
No, it's not you, man. It's me. I'm not blaming you. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm looking at. I got a lot of email down from here, and okay, I'll get to this one right here. This should be a good one.
Dear Corey, what's up with Kent? He's a jerk.
Fuck him. No, well, I'm sure I'll get that next week. But you've been pretty cool on here, man. You've actually been very good. I'm not going to even lie. I don't care what people say about you, man. You're a good co-host. So, let's see. Okay, we got a message here from Aaron Litchfield, and it says, "Hey, Corey, as you may have heard, they are intending to make an Artemis Fowl movie. Now, I am from the UK, and here Artemis Fowl is almost as popular as Harry Potter. Shudder. I love Adrian Fowl, but what do you think the film is going to be like? Harry Potter? Do you think it's going to be like Harry Potter and do well, or like The Golden Compass and do horribly? First of all, Kent, have you heard of Artemis Fowl?
I have no clue what this dude's talking about.
Okay, that's what I'm going to tell you. Look, it might do well, it might not. It depends on how they make the movie and market it. And if it has a big enough budget, then great. And if the movie's good, it'll do well, and it will probably continue to do well. If it's not that good, then it'll probably do like The Golden Compass and not be seen again. But no, it will not do as good as Harry Potter because, as you can see, I looked it up, and it's
nothing was as good as Harry Potter. No. Harry Potter's one of those few film series that has hit after hit after hit, 5 films in a row. Find me a film series that did that.
It's a cool premise. Look, I looked up Artemis Fowl because I know nothing about it. And apparently it has a few fans here in America, but unlike Harry Potter, everybody has heard of Harry Potter. Shit, my dad is in the VA hospital dying, and he's heard of Harry Potter. He's been like, "When's the next Harry Potter movie coming out? I want to see that before I die." I mean, everybody knows Harry Potter. Nobody knows who the fuck Artemis Fowl is, but Artemis Fowl apparently is
nothing recognizable is even coming up.
Yeah, no. Well, they said that this movie, they described it as Die Hard with fairies. Hey, that's cool. In the so we got a gay Bruce.
Sorry, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, so I'm like, what? We got a gay Bruce Willis in the movie, then a gay John McClane.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Seriously.
Okay, I know. Gay people are like, what? Don't you make fun of me like that? No, I'm kidding. All right, you know. But seriously, I you know me. Look, if fantasy shit gets too corny, I'll be the first to tell you I'm just not into it. I got my ass kicked too many times for liking wizards and shit, so I got a little syndrome over that. But no, Artemis Fowl sounds kind of like a cool premise. It's a kid who's apparently a criminal mastermind who wants to go out and get money. Because of course I Wikipedia'd it, and here's what I got. It's written by an Irish author named Eoin Colfer, and it stars the teenage criminal mastermind Artemis Fowl II. And let's see, Artemis, who is the main character, is the ruthless and extremely intelligent young criminal whose main goal is the acquisition of money through a variety of often illegal schemes. Although his values change towards the 5th book, the author summed it up as Die Hard with fairies.
So why would you say that about your own work?
So yeah, well, apparently it did well enough. So if there's going to, they say that there is a film based on the series is under development. Just don't let 20th Century Fox do it. So that's my advice to you.
Give that shit to Sony.
Give it to Sony or Warner Brothers. Look at what Warner Brothers did with Harry Potter.
First, I say leave Warner Brothers' plate open for more DC stuff. Give it to Sony.
Okay, fair enough. Or Universal, but yeah. So we know nothing about Artemis Fowl apparently over here in America. Maybe there's a few fans out there who are getting upset right now. I'm American, you son of a bitch, and I know Mr. Artemis Fowl.
That sounds like a cool premise, though. I would watch a kid who robs people.
That's what we need, man. Teenage criminal mastermind. That's cool.
Wait, wasn't there a movie like that like a few years ago about kid like thieves just bombed horribly?
Shit, I don't know, man. If it bombed, we ain't heard about it. But hey, look, it sounds like a cool premise. I'd be glad to see it, Aaron. But here in America, apparently, we don't know anything about Artemis Fowl. So
I'll go get an audiobook and then I'll write a blog.
Yeah, there you go. Are you write a blog about it, Aaron, and spread the word to us dumb Americans about Mr. Fowl. So fuck Artemis Fowl. I don't want to hear that shit. I'll wait for the movie and then I'll decide. I ain't gonna read this.
Why does every cover look like a bad anime?
Okay. Did you see that cover on there in Wikipedia? Yeah. Dude stand up there in a suit, legs too big, got that tiny head. I'm Artemis Fowl.
Spiky hair, goggles, great.
Yeah, goddamn, wearing these long ass pants and shit. You been shopping at the Big and Tall Man shop? Look at this shit.
It looks like a Death Note type of thing going on.
So I got an email here, and let me just clear this up for the young kids out there. This comes from Brendan, and he says, I don't mean to bother you or anything, but I was just wondering how to get in touch with someone in charge of Warner Brothers Studio. I have an idea and wanted to talk to someone in charge at Warner Brothers about it. I know it's a long shot, but nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Can I handle this one a little bit?
Well, yeah, you can. I just want to say, our influence is strong and wide, and we have our hands in a lot of things. But talking to the head of Warner Brothers Studio is not one of them. I mean, I'm flattered that you would think that I could walk my ass up into Warner Brothers tomorrow morning and be like, "Yeah, I want to talk to Mr. Head of Warner Brothers right now. I have somebody on our website has an idea, and I want to pitch it to you." I mean, I am flattered, but it don't work like that.
No, not quite. What you can do though is if you legitimately feel like you have a good idea, write a treatment for it. Have someone help you edit it. I don't know how old this kid is. Have someone help you edit it, and then take it to some kind of agent and make sure they've got your back, and call the Warner Brothers switchboard because that's worked for some people.
Really?
Yeah, you can. Some companies you can just call the switchboard and set up an appointment. Maybe not with the head, but you can set up an appointment with somebody who's in charge of some kind of creative, in some creative way, and you can set up an appointment if you have some legitimate representation.
Oh shit, man!
So,
I'm gonna go pitch my Talking Pony script to them.
Do it.
No,
chances are Fox will want to make it,
and I don't even want to make a net. So, now they'll keep me on my own movie. You work on the internet? Get the fuck out of here! But I may get the fuck out of here. Well, it ain't gonna be shit anyway. So no, I would look, Brendan. Actually, I mean, what Ken is saying, as you say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I say go do this. I didn't know you could do this if this is true. So hey.
Oh yeah, I mean that's how a lot of people get through for certain ideas. You just call the switchboard. You gotta practice your phone call.
Okay.
If you call and you go, can I talk to so and so? It's gonna come off really bad.
All right. Well, there you go.
But, set up your own fake, person. So it sounds like I'm so-and-so calling on behalf of so-and-so trying to reach so-and-so. That always sounds legitimate.
All right. Well, there you have it from the mouth of Kent. You have more of a shot at doing this probably through his way than mine. My advice, Brendan, was going to be, and I think I wrote you back and said this, go out and just do stuff. I mean, look, let's not lie. I mean, I think that you're a young kid, and you probably think that it's just like that, even though I lived with the guy who was in his 20s and thought that he could handwrite out a script for Darth Vader versus Boba Fett and send this to George Lucas himself. I'm not lying about that.
Wow.
So, yeah, he even had
you know what?
a
I would have
picture
watched
written.
it over Clone Wars.
And I would have too. I would have watched and he drew some pictures with some. I'm not lying. I'm talking about a 20-something-year-old guy drew some pictures on there with crayon and everything, wrote it out, and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna see what George Lucas thinks about this." I was like, "Yeah, I would love to see where this goes. Please send it off."
I've seen the room where all that stuff goes.
In a fucking trash can before it's even gotten to the studio. It's at the post office, it's like, oh, another one. They throw that shit away for him now. But yeah, no. The way to start out doing stuff, man, it's like most of what you see your famous directors doing and writers. They did it. They spent a lot of their young life writing scripts, shooting movies on their own. Spielberg, M. Night Shyamalan, George Lucas, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, all these guys. I mean, that's just for starters. A lot of these people spent their time doing stuff when they weren't in the business. That's how they broke in, and now they're legends. So do that, man. You're young. Spend your time being creative. Don't sit around talking about what you're going to do. Do it. And that's going to separate you from everybody and put you ahead of the game. That's what I think. So, but Kent said you can just walk up in there and just talk to anybody.
I don't know how old he is. If he's like 17, he might, have a chance.
Well, hey, I'm the God bless him, man.
Representation is everything.
I do not want to discourage anyone from doing what they want to do, because God knows I had plenty of people tell me I was a dumbass for even wanting to do something like this, what we're doing right now. So, but I am, but that never stopped me. So, so please, even if it's a crazy idea, do it, because even the dumbasses have their place to shine sometime. But, okay, Ken, I got to get on out of here. I have a meeting with the head of Universal in a little while. So,
okay, slap him about Wanted, because that was...
Oh, shit, they'll slap me back and be like, bitch, you know how much money that made? So I got to go do that. Then I have to go play tennis tomorrow with the head of Sony Pictures. So yeah, you got any scripts you want me to take to him?
Oh man, I'm thinking about writing a screenplay for The Boys.
Okay.
It's my comic recommendation. I know that's more of a Leog thing, but read The Boys by Warren Ellis.
That sounds like a gay film, but all right.
Not for kids at all.
Okay. All right. Well, look, you go ahead and write that tonight, and I'll take it over there when I'm going to the tennis match tomorrow. Okay.
All right, sounds good. I'll fax it.
All right. Well, this has been a couple of cold ones with Corey and Kent, DJ Kent Aaron, and I'm thinking about maybe doing this down the line. In addition to what we normally do, maybe having people. If I could figure out a process for people to submit things to me, maybe doing a guest spot for people down the line. I mean, it would be.
I'd like to see Aaron do a podcast.
Well, I want to have a process for doing it because I want to know how old you are. I want to know that you can actually do well on radio, and I want to know that you can actually have something to say and keep up. And I want to know how much knowledge you have about movies because I don't want somebody hanging out with me, sitting there and being quiet, and then I got to do most of the work, and you're dull. I mean, you can't do that because I'm going to hang up and say, fuck this. We can't do it, and I'll start over with something else. So, yeah, if you're good enough personality and you think you could do this, I'm not saying I'm doing this, but I am planning on doing this down the line.
If you have half the competence I do.
Yeah, half. Because believe me, this arrogant motherfucker right here. But
I just got called arrogant a little while ago. I was like, I'm going to be on the Coco. Someone's like,
now don't you go bragging to people about this now, telling people how you and I are. I'm making you vice president of Spill or some shit. Okay, don't you go around telling people crazy shit.
I'm taking vice presidency of Spill.
Okay, sure. You don't kick my ass. You like a supervillain yourself. And get me out of there. All right. So, in the party for Spill, I'm kind of planning it right now for October, maybe preferably October 18th is the day. Now, I'm not saying this will happen. I have Cyrus actually helping me out with this. I told him to go and look for some stuff and maybe find some places and whatnot. He's good at that kind of thing. Hey, he set us up with Tyrese, so we might get Tyrese to perform at the party. He's got those kind of connections. No, that's a rumor. I'm not, that's not true. I'm not saying that'll happen. But
at least you'll have me playing records.
Yeah, we'll get DJ Kent. We'll put up and say, coming, Tyrese. And when they get there, we're like, Tyrese canceled, but we have the great DJ Kent. People set that bitch on fire. Anyway, so I got to get out of here, man. I got to make this show. Right. But it was great. I had a great time with you.
It was a blasty blast.
What'd you say?
It was a blasty blast.
Okay, this is time to get the hell on out of here with that kind of talk. Say goodnight, Kent.
Good night, Kent.
Oh, shit. All right. This is not a minute too soon for us to leave. Good night, everybody. Thank you.